Peace, people. Got an email from a friend of mine today, and it inspired me to do this vlog. Um, and it's about the issue of reparations. It's a little commentary video that Roland Martin did that's online, and if you check the more info to the left of me on the screen, which would be the right of you, I'll have a link posted up there so you can check it out yourselves. But I just wanted to give my 2 cents on how I felt about it. And basically, Roland Martin's take on the whole thing was it's a non-issue. It's one that's dead from the inception. So why even bother? I don't necessarily have a problem on issue with what he said, only because he's looking at it from the perspective of individuals receiving checks from the government. And in that regard, he's 100% correct. That's not going to happen. We got, especially in this financial climate that we have now, um, not because the money isn't available. I mean, just that term money is a buzzword. I mean, I can have a whole blog about that. But I just find it interesting that, people talk about, well, there's no money to give reparations, but the Federal Reserve just put out a statement that they plan on injecting $7.7 trillion into the economy, and they just gave 308 billion to the auto industry. Um, but that's an aside. What my issue is how can you say what we should get if most people don't even understand what reparations is? What is reparations? What is the definition of reparations? Um, I did a blog on this a while ago, and it was called Reparations 101, the Redux. And I felt the need to do it because I just felt that there's a lot of misunderstanding about what reparations is, and it's a fundamental misunderstanding that needs to be cleared up in order for this issue to fully be comprehended and put into its proper context. Um, Number one, the term is called reparations. It's not called repar individuals. And that's important. You don't repair a nation by giving individuals checks. I'll even take it to the next level. For all of those people who don't believe black people should have an organized nation, and I'm basically talking about black people, nobody outside of our nation. They don't You don't believe we should have an organized nation or a social, economic, and political infrastructure in the first place, then my question is, why do you have your hands out for a check anyway? I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm just attempting to understand the mindset. You don't believe in a nation, but you want money, individually, that is supposed to repair a nation. Because that's what reparations is, repairing a nation. Does that make any sense on any planet or any solar system? True black nationalists understand that repairing a nation is what happened when the UN gave the Jewish people Israel. Israel is reparations for the Jews. We can debate on whether or not they should have received it, and that's another discussion. But the point is, why are we acting like we don't know what reparations is when it comes to ourselves, but achieves miraculous understanding when it comes to others? A nation has four pillars: economic, political, military, and communications or propaganda media, however you want to define it. In addition to a base of operations called land. Knowing the meaning of reparations and the four pillars of nationhood and the land in which those pillars should be constructed, I ask this one question. How would reparations be distributed to repair a nation? You can take your shot and give me your answer, but I'll give you mine in advance. By declaring one in the first place. Sounds simple, right? Because it is. This is the reason why I say our people are politically immature and looked upon like jackasses, not only by the government, but the international community as well. You're asking for reparations, but you don't declare yourself as a nation in order to receive reparations. And you have no social and economic political infrastructure the ambassador of your declared nation can represent. So what are you talking about? In order for a nation to receive reparations, then those reparations are going to go toward those four pillars. We're not talking about individuals receiving a welfare check. Now, maybe it's just me, but I've never seen the reparations issue presented within that context. It always breaks down into, well, black people ain't gonna get no checks because, we got other stuff going on. There ain't enough money to black people to give checks. If you argue it within that context, then they're 100% correct. So why are we even discussing it? But when you start changing the context to nationhood, looking at us instead of a group of scattered individuals aligned merely by aesthetic purposes, and you start looking at us as a nation of people, then it takes on a completely different context and one that makes sense. So I wonder if Roland Martin, and like I said, I like Roland Martin, but I wonder if he would be willing to throw the issue off the table if it's put in that context. Anyway, give me your thoughts and opinions on it. I'm Mr. Holipsism, and I'm out. Peace. Oh, before I go, I just want to correct the mistake that I made. I said that money was given to the auto industry, and that's not correct. $306 billion was given to Citigroup. So I just want to clear that up. Peace.